How's it going? I'm Jose with GeneratingEntrepreneurs.com. What's my one word? Up until very recently, I never even thought about what is the one word that drives me to keep pursuing my dreams. I never even considered there was the one thing that I was working hardest to achieve. It never even crossed my mind. Until the day that Evan Carmichael asked me to review his new book, Your One Word. Now, I've started a lot of businesses personally in the past, and I've had a lot of experience in the work world, from 9-to-5 jobs to contract positions, you name it. I'm going to be giving my honest review of this book, and we're going to be having Evan Carmichael as a special guest answer the biggest question that's been on my mind this whole time. What do you do when your friends and family don't give you the support that you wish they did? Sometimes being in a position where you're chasing your dreams, it's lonely. It really is. And if there's nobody there that's your most trusted people that you love and that you've grown up with, or even your friends, who do you turn to? So you guys make sure you stay tuned, because this is going to be an incredible episode. There's a lot of references in this book that I can definitely say hit me in a way where it was very personal to me. I've had good and bad experiences in business, both with partners, without partners, starting business when I was very young, trying to figure out what I wanted to do, and just trying to figure out how to pursue my dreams. And I have to say that in this book, it gives me an incredible reference to his personal journey, and it helps me find clarity in the things that I've been pursuing also. There's a lot of experience in his book that he talks about when he found success, and also how in his book it developed him to follow his dreams in a way where it can influence many people. And personally, I think that's fantastic. When you're starting business, the one thing that I can say the most that you wish you had was support. And it seems like nowadays there's a lot of things that are happening within our society that aren't supportive to everybody being successful. And so when you have material and content that is very fulfilling and very positive to hear, and it's also influencing people to be pursuing their dreams and chasing things they love, it's a great read. I have to say that Evan Carmichael did a fantastic job of making me actually go back and retrace my own steps and think about, what am I doing this for? I've started so many businesses. Like I've said, I've wanted to start even businesses that I couldn't afford in the future in endless notebooks, and I never once thought about the one driving force besides the obvious, my family. Everybody has their family and wants better quality of life and to travel, but I never really questioned myself and asked, what's the one thing that gets me up at 4:30 in the morning and writes down my goals and pursues the things that I want on a daily basis? What's the one reason why I'm not okay with settling for a regular job and pursuing my dreams at all costs? And I have to say that when that question was brought up in my own mind after reviewing this book, it kind of crept up on me. And I'm very critical when I do my reviews, and that made me question myself, my determination, my own driving force. What am I doing this for? Because for the longest time, when you're in entrepreneurship, you can get caught off guard, you can get distracted, you can get so focused on trying to be successful that you forget all the fine little details. And when it snaps you back to reality and it makes you really check what's the most important thing that you're working to achieve, what is your dreams and goals, it's an incredible feeling when you can sit back and say, this book has changed my life in such a way that I feel like I have to share with others. Because it's given me a point to where I found importance to what I'm doing again. Not that it wasn't important to be successful and to provide a better life for my family and myself, but it brings joy to me feeling like I know why I'm doing this again. And I don't have to constantly remind myself to get up in the morning happy and smile because it's before 5 and I haven't had coffee and I'm grumpy. That's going to be for everyone. It doesn't get any easier. Being an entrepreneur or being a person that's chasing their dreams, it's not easy. It's never easy. And I will say, having a point of reference showing in his book how he went through adversities, he went through challenges and experiences personally where Some of them were successful and some of them weren't. You know, it gave me a good reference to myself and said, you know, I might not hit success every time I come up with a great idea, but keep going. You know, and finding that one driving force, that one word, to me, at the end of all of this was the most important thing to discover. And for me, that word was generating. And this is the reason why, I guess, subconsciously, my business, my blog, everything that I've come up with is generating entrepreneurs. And that's affected my life. I've always wanted to generate a better life for my friends, my family, my children as an adult, and just be a better influential person. And so when I come across material like Evan Carmichael's book, Your One Word, I definitely have to say this is a fantastic read. Now, the one thing that I would change in this book, or that I would modify on my own personal level, would be I would love to see a few pictures referencing maybe a few different places in his timeline for success, or in his beginning stages, or even when he got successful in his later years in business. You know, not many, maybe 4 or 5, just for myself. It kind of gives me an ability to put myself in that position, and it makes me correlate what I'm hearing a little bit easier. And it's not that I would change it, but for me, that's something that I would do a little different. I like pictures, so that's just my personal opinion. And also, I think that I would love to see the quotes that's in his book in a particular place where I could reference them quickly. I mean, he had some incredible quotes from some incredible people, and that alone in his book was worth reading. I mean, who doesn't love to hear inspirational quotes from people that have gone through some of the most incredible challenges? And when you sit back and realize the little things that we go through as business owners and entrepreneurs, it's really nothing. You know, like compared to some of these people in his book from history that's changed the way we even think, it's incredible. And I will have to say, you know, I find myself in a constant place going back in this book and saying, you know, I see where this made sense for him, and I see how this helped him in a position where I can help myself with this. And I feel like I should share certain quotes and certain things in this book to help people also find their one word. And you know, this book has definitely helped me in a way where it motivated me to go out and kind of search for other material to add to my library. I will settle for the ebook now, but I will get my hands on a hard copy. I just have to say, guys, if you have a chance to read this book, it's definitely worth your time. If you're starting a business, if you're taking on a new project, if you're an inventor, or if you're somebody even pursuing your dreams, even if it's as small as you think they are, this book is an incredible tool. When you sit there and you see how he motivated other people and how he spent his own personal time to helping create a team to create success for others, how can you not like something like that? Now, the one thing that I still had a question on, even after reading this book, was what do you do when your friends and family aren't giving you the support that you would like? You know, like I said, this is such a tender subject for people. This has stopped businesses in their tracks. This will discourage people to not pursue their dreams if you hear someone that you love, that you trust, that you've grown up with, tell you you're wasting your time. That's the most detrimental thing that someone can hear sometimes, especially when in a sensitive time when starting a business. There's so many uneasy feelings, so many emotions at stake. There's so much going on that it's hard to feel like I have support from anywhere. And so after reading this book, it fulfilled me in so many ways, but I had to get that question answered from somebody that has gone through challenges, gone through adversities, seen success, feeling the defeat, feeling all the adversities that one can go through when putting everything on the line. And so I reached out and I asked Evan Carmichael, I said, what do you do, you know, when your friends and family aren't supportive for you? And so this is how he replied.
What's up, Generating Entrepreneur fans? Jose asked me to answer a question. It's Evan Carmichael, by the way, and he asked me to answer a question. So this is my video response. The question is, can you produce a clip giving advice about close family and friends discouraging you and expecting you to fail? This would be motivation to us also. That's a tough one. When the people around you don't support what you're doing, it takes a lot of courage and a lot of boldness to stay on your path when everybody's telling you it's stupid and it's crazy and it's never going to work out. Here's my advice. It starts with the mindset. So it starts with the mindset that at some point you have to live your version of your life. When you're growing up, when you're 5 years old, you listen to your mom and dad, right? And they tell you to do something and you do it, or you get punished, and they kind of teach you the value system that you grew up with. Great. That's when you're 5 years old. At some point, you become an adult. At some point, you have to decide that this is my life. That I would love to have your support, but this is my life now. Like, at what point do you start living your life instead of your parents' life? So if your parents want you to be a doctor, or is it now that you're going to go and be a doctor and you're 35 years old and still just living the life that your parents want? Are you going to marry the person that your parents want you to marry? Are you going to have kids when your parents want you to have kids? Like, at what point are you free? Are you waiting for them to die before you have your chance to go off and do your thing? Like, are you going to be 50 years old and still living according to what your parents want? It may sound ridiculous, but at some point you have to decide that this is my life. And it doesn't mean you have to be this strategy to deal with it. It doesn't mean you have to be controversial. It doesn't mean you have to be in their face. It doesn't mean you have to be rude and disrespectful. But it starts with the mindset that this is my life. I am now in charge. I am now deciding, and I'm going to deal with the consequences of that. Like, maybe they kick you out of the house. Welcome to adulthood, right? Like, you got to deal with the real consequences of it. Maybe they stop talking to you. You have to deal with the consequences of it, but this is your life. So before getting to any of the strategies to deal with it, it's first adopting the mindset that now you're in charge. I refuse to live my parents' version of my life. I refuse to live my friend's version of my life, my teacher's version of my life, my culture's version of my life. I am my own individual, and starting today, I'm in charge. Great. Now, how do we deal with it? Understand that for the most part, parents love you, and they see success in one way, and they want you to have success. Just the way that success looks like, they don't understand your version of it. So my first option would be to sit down and have a conversation, an honest conversation, a genuine conversation, a vulnerable conversation, not coming from, you guys don't support me and you don't let me do what I want to do. Like, as soon as you start being critical, what happens? People's defenses come up. You're not going to get a great result from that. But just going in and saying, this is what I really want to do. This means something to me. I feel like I'm going to regret this if I don't go out and try doing this. And it may be a big mistake. And hopefully if it's a mistake, you're still going to be here to love and support me. But I need to go off and do this. I have to know. I have to know if it's going to work out. And I'm going to make a decision to go off and do this. That's an easy way to do it. Second thing is putting a timeline on it to start. So, Michael Dell, his parents wanted him to be a doctor. He was going to med school. He wanted to start Dell. And so he convinced his parents that, let me take a semester off. I'm going to take a semester off, or I think it was a summer off, and I'm going to work on my business. And if it does well, then I'm going to keep doing it. And so even if you don't end up going back to it, it's easier to ask for a short-term window than a forever thing. And so what does that short-term window equivalent look like for you? Now we're going in degrees of severity. Your parents and your friends may not understand. You may have a vulnerable conversation and they don't agree with you. You may offer to have some kind of short-term window and they say, no, I don't like that. What's next? Are you willing to cut out your friends and your family for a little while from your life? Are you willing to limit the exposure that you have to them? Are you willing to limit some of the conversations that you have? Like, maybe you have conversations with them about some parts of your life, but not others. It's not ideal. but it may be better than the alternative of never seeing them. I think what's really important in this entire process as well is we're only dealing with the negative. We're dealing with the negative people, friends, family, people around us. You need to substitute the negative with positive. You need to think about what is it that you want to do and how can you be around those kinds of people. You know, why I started my YouTube channel, and on my channel we profile famous entrepreneurs and athletes and musicians and inventors and innovators. I wanted to be surrounded by greatness every day. I wanted to be surrounded by people who've done more than me every day. And by watching a video of them, by hanging around with them a little bit, it rubs off. It makes you more confident. It makes you more bold. It helps you continue to believe in your dream. And so whether it's, you know, for you guys watching, whether it's whether it's watching YouTube videos or reading a book or having conversations or putting pictures on the wall or whatever it is, no judgment. Like whatever it is, the thing that makes you feel bold and confident and willing to take action, surround yourself with that more. Your environment matters. So if you have a toxic environment, negativity around you, removing the toxicity isn't enough. It helps, but it's not enough. You have to input quality. You have to input things that make you want to go off and take action every day. Because even if you get rid of your parents or they somehow support you or your friends, you're still not going to wake up every day and be like, yes, amazing. Throw off your sheets and just dive into work. It's still going to be a long, hard road. And so thinking about what is it that makes you feel alive and planning that into your morning routine every single day, because much more important than just having the idea and having the passion is doing daily action. Like you got to take daily consistent action. Look at anybody you look up to who's had success in their field. They work for it. And so you have to be able to put that into your regular routine. So those are my thoughts. But again, it all boils down to the mindset for anything. You know, all the strategies around starting a business won't help you until you've decided you're going to start a business. All the strategies around dealing with toxic friends and family won't help you until you've decided that you're going to start living your version of your life instead of somebody else's. Once you make that decision and you own it, everything else becomes easier. So that's what I got. Thank you guys for the love. Thank you, Jose, for the opportunity. I believe in you guys. I hope you continue to believe in yourselves. Much love. See you soon.
Thank you very much, Evan, for sharing that video with us and giving us your personal advice. I know that's going to help many other people as it helped myself, and I just wanted to share this video with everybody as I'm sharing this book. Now guys, I've provided a link below so you guys can get the book directly from Evan Carmichael's website, so that way there's no confusion on where you can find this great read. I hope you guys get your hands on this valuable resource, and don't forget to stop by at generatingentrepreneurs.com. Have a good day, guys.